Have you ever sensed a faint echo pushing you in the direction of an unknown route? A whisper of guidance coming from deep inside you? That's your higher self, the sage, caring soul that is within of you, waiting to speak and lead you to your fullest potential. But what if, just because you haven't mastered the art of listening, you're losing out on its tremendous wisdom? At all costs, this ought to be avoided. To do this, we need to realize that the first step on the trip is to be in alignment with the current moment. Beyond merely a moment in time, the present serves as a portal to our higher selves. Many spiritual traditions celebrate the present moment as the only authentic reality in their teachings. Our mind's creations of the past and future frequently cause us to lose sight of the core of life as it is happening right now. However, how can one mesh with the current? Imagine yourself strolling through a forest as your mind is racing with ideas about yesterday or what lies ahead of you tomorrow. The beauty of the woodland escapes you in this situation. The sounds of nature, such as birds singing, leaves rustling, and earth scenting, are only background noise. However, something changes if you stop, inhale deeply, and give yourself permission to be present at that instant. The forest comes to life, and as it does, a part of you starts to emerge. This awakened self is calmer, more open, and more unified. Our higher selves can be heard when we are in this connected condition. The age-old discipline of mindfulness and the art of harmonizing with the present moment are comparable. It involves giving our whole to whatever it is we're doing, feeling, or thinking at the time, without distraction or condemnation. This entails fully engaging with the experience we are in at the now rather than shirking our duties or making plans for the future. We can feel the smoothness of the dishes and the warmth of the water as we wash them. We enjoy every bite of food, taking in the flavors and textures. Various traditions' parables reaffirm this wisdom. Take the tea ceremony Zen fable, where making and sipping tea is more than simply a daily ritual. It's a deep exercise in mindfulness. The ordinary becomes sacred when tasks like boiling water and pouring tea are completed with total attention and presence. This story tells us that when we live in the present moment, we open up a channel for communication with our higher selves. However, what makes the present moment so potent? Because the ego's cacophony of noise fades in the now. The ego feeds on regrets and anxieties, on the past and the future. The ego's hold on us loosens, and our genuine identity becomes seen when we firmly ground ourselves in the present moment. This essence remains unadulterated by worries, expectations from society, or prefabricated tales. It is unadulterated, real, and exceedingly smart. It's the portion of us that is aware of our actual course, our greatest aspirations, and our unrealized potential. Therefore, aligning with the present moment involves more than just attention. It's about opening a channel so that our higher self may lead us. It's about allowing the wisdom that has always been there. It just needs to be heard, to enter our hearts and brains. We find that the direction we desire is closer than we initially believed when we set out on this alignment adventure. It's in the nudging to veer off course on our morning stroll, in the epiphany that occurs when we're completely focused on a task, or in the serenity that descends upon us when we pay attention to what someone is really saying. Chapter 2. Tuning into Intuition. We must engage in a practice that is firmly based in the knowledge of sages and mystics throughout history if we are to be able to tune into our intuition and listen to the higher self. Our higher self can be reached directly through intuition, which is sometimes referred to as the inner knowing or gut feeling. It provides instruction that feels both profound and inherently correct while eschewing the use of reason. This section of our investigation aims to shed light on how to use this effective instrument. Picture yourself at a crossroads with no maps or signposts to help you find your way. Though your intellect may examine each option and consider advantages and disadvantages, a part of you already knows which course of action to take. This awareness speaks to you softly but firmly. It doesn't yell. At work, this intuition is a compass that our higher self has given us. Acknowledging that our intuition speaks a different language from our logical mind is the first step towards tuning it in. It speaks to us through emotions, senses, and occasionally symbols in dreams or meditations. We have to learn to listen differently in order to hear it. Making time for introspection and quiet is one method to encourage this connection. Our intuition can easily be ignored in the bustle of daily life. We can hear it more clearly when we give ourselves time to be still. This can be achieved by practicing meditation, going outside, or just spending some peaceful time alone ourselves. Being open and responsive without setting any expectations is crucial. Learning to tune into your intuition is akin to picking up a new instrument. Although the sounds may seem clumsy and imprecise at first, with time and experience, we are able to identify the melody. In a similar vein, we develop the ability to discern our intuition's direction from the clamor of our thoughts and feelings as we learn to tune into it. Stoic and other philosophical traditions place a strong emphasis on introspection and voice listening as means of achieving knowledge. They tell us that there is an uncontaminated source of information inside each of us. Through introspection, we connect to this source. Maintaining a notebook of your gut feelings and intuition is also helpful. You will eventually see trends and the frequency with which your intuition guided you. This helps make sense of the ways your higher self speaks to you and fortifies your faith in your inner guiding system. However, judgment is also necessary for connecting with intuition. It's critical to distinguish between authentic intuitive guidance and fear-based responses. Fear is frequently loud, demanding, and based on worries about the future or unpleasant memories. While intuition may take us outside our comfort zones, it feels more rooted, serene, and in control. The 17th century philosopher Baruch Spinoza's teachings are reflected in this process of connecting with our intuition. Spinoza thought that we could find true happiness and tranquility by comprehending the essence of the universe and our inner selves. According to him, everything in the universe is interconnected, and we can reach a higher level of wisdom by orienting our thoughts in line with this universal reality. The philosophy of Spinoza challenges us to see above our fleeting impressions and feelings to the fundamental reality that unites all of us. He says that by doing this, we can access a deeper level of intuition than just gut instinct. This intuition, which instills a sense of serenity and contentment, is a direct comprehension of the unity of all things. Spinoza believed that in order to arrive at this insight and connectedness, we needed to develop a particular manner of life and thinking. This entails accepting our feelings and experiences as pieces of a bigger, more intricate puzzle rather than as unchanging facts. Through detached observation and contemplation of our experiences, we can start to identify the more general patterns and principles governing the cosmos. We can receive guidance that is exactly in line with our soul's journey when we learn to tune into our intuition. It serves as a reminder that we are not traveling alone. We always have our higher self by our side, providing guidance and encouragement. Chapter 3. Shadow Work. We delve farther into the domain of shadow work, delving even deeper into our own self-discovery and connection to our higher self. This technique, which is highly transforming yet being frequently disregarded, challenges us to face and accept the aspects of ourselves that we have avoided. Shadow work is more than simply a technique. It's a path to wholeness where we discover the buried riches of our psyche and discover how to accept the entirety of who we are. Carl Jung first proposed the idea of the shadow, arguing that everyone has an unconscious side that they prefer to suppress because they see it as bad. These repressed aspects can range from unexpressed desires and unresolved inner conflicts to unacknowledged fears. Ignoring them grants these shadows control over our life, which frequently materializes as unexplained anxiety, self-destructive behavior, and unbreakable patterns. Shadow work is brave. It calls us to explore the aspects of ourselves that we've been taught to deny or feel guilty about. But it's from these shadowy places that our higher self speaks priceless lessons that lead to authenticity and healing. The first step in the process is acknowledgement. We have to admit that the shadow exists and that it contains important information about our innermost selves. This level is about curiosity and compassion, not about passing judgment. If you came across a fearful child in a pitch-black jungle, would you run away, or would you approach them compassionately and understandingly? This child is a metaphor for the unloved and unacknowledged portions of ourselves. The process of reflection is essential to shadow work. Journaling, meditation, and guided imagery are some of the techniques that help us explore our inner landscape and start talking to our shadows. Deep insights can be gained by asking yourself questions like, "What am I most afraid of?" Or, "Why does this particular situation trigger me so deeply?" The intention behind shadow work is integration. Rather than eliminating these darker sides of ourselves, the goal is to comprehend where they came from and figure out how to integrate them into our identity. When we stop attempting to battle or repress aspects of ourselves, This integration makes us feel peaceful and full. All around the world, philosophical and spiritual traditions emphasize the significance of accepting who we are completely. For example, the Taoist idea of yin and yang teaches us about the harmony that arises from recognizing and integrating all aspects of reality, including our own nature. It also teaches us about the balance of opposites. Shadow work teaches us that our higher self is the synthesis of everything that we are. It is not only the light, but also the darkness. Take into consideration the fable of the two wolves within us representing light and evil. As we integrate our shadows, we become more authentic and powerful, able to navigate life with greater wisdom and compassion. The person we feed is the one who survives, but real power comes from realizing and respecting both. This shows us that accepting our darkness creates true strength and harmony, while suppressing it merely causes imbalance. Chapter 4. Dream Analysis. Dreams are more than just thoughtless sequences of sights and words. They are enigmatic stories that unfold as we sleep. They are replete with messages and symbolism from our higher selves, as well as our subconscious. Dream analysis provides a powerful and unique window into our deepest aspirations, concerns, and direction toward personal development. Throughout history, people have believed that dreams are windows into the psyche that reveal insights that the conscious mind might ignore or reject. From the dream temples of classical Greece to Freud and Jung's psychoanalytic couch, dreams have been examined to reveal messages from the subconscious. We can learn more about our journey, find hidden strengths, and overcome unresolved concerns by investigating our dreams. The act of remembering is the first step in the dream analysis process. Maintaining a dream diary next to your bed and recording dreams as soon as you wake up will help you retain the fleeting messages you receive while you sleep. Making a recording can be a meditation in and of itself, a signal to your higher self that you are paying attention and are receptive to its guidance. It takes patience and an open mind to interpret dreams. In dreams, things, people, and situations are not always what they seem, since dreams communicate through symbols. Your current emotional or psychological state may be reflected in the status of your residence, which could serve as a representation of who you are. Water is a common symbol for emotions, and the characteristics of the water, clear, murky, tranquil, or stormy, can provide information about your emotional health. The approach is about discovering what the symbols and narratives mean to you individually, not about assigning universal meanings. It entails questioning oneself about the feelings you experienced in the dream, the prominent symbols, and the meaning of those symbols in your conscious life. Your innermost hopes, anxieties, and potential next steps toward recovery and fulfillment can all be revealed through this introspective exercise. Dream analysis benefits greatly from the framework provided by Jungian psychology, which emphasizes the importance of archetypes and the collective unconscious. Jung believed that, in addition to being purely personal, dreams also draw on a common source of symbols and ideas that all people share. We can establish a connection with our higher self and the collective wisdom of humanity by decoding these symbols. Dream analysis is another mindfulness exercise. Realizing the connection between our conscious and unconscious lives inspires us to live more in tune with our inner selves. By focusing on our dreams, we strengthen our inner experiences and develop a closer bond with ourselves. Think of the story of the dreamer who finds an oasis with a lone tree in the center after becoming lost in a huge desert during a dream. This tree represents resiliency and sustenance to the dreamer. When people awaken and consider this emblem, they come to understand the need of self-care and spending time in nature. A significant shift in the dreamer's life path was brought about by this message from their higher self. Dream analysis is a challenging, illuminating, and inspiring journey into one's innermost thoughts and feelings. It is a conversation with one's higher self. It's a call to investigate the unexplored domains of our subconscious, which hold layers of wisdom and meaning that have the potential to have a significant influence on our conscious existence. Chapter 5. Meaningful Synchronicities. When seemingly unrelated occurrences line together in a way that has deep personal significance, these meaningful coincidences happen. Synchronicities are messages from the cosmos, a nod from our higher selves telling us we are headed in the right direction, or maybe just a gentle reminder to focus on something significant in our life. Developing an open and attentive mindset is the first step in interacting with synchronicities. It entails observing the recurring themes and symbols in our life and figuring out what possible meanings they could have. This isn't about searching for messages in everything. Rather, it's about keeping an open mind to the idea that some experiences, meetings, or symbols could be a communication from our higher self. For example, you might remember a friend you haven't seen in a long time, and then you might suddenly run into them again not too long after. Or, at a moment of uncertainty, you stumble upon a book or a quotation that aptly describes your predicament and provides guidance. These are synchronicities, not just coincidences, that can point us in the direction of our greater purpose or provide answers to our issues. It takes a delicate balance between skepticism and believing to interact with synchronicities. It's not about following every sign mindlessly. Rather, it's about identifying the ones that really speak to us and inspire contemplation or action. Making the connections between our inner experiences and the outside world in a way that seems meaningful and in line with our journey is a practice of intuition. Keeping a notebook in which you record synchronicities, your feelings and ideas about them, and any subsequent actions you took can help you recognize themes and patterns in your life. Recording these moments can be immensely effective. By engaging in this reflective activity, you can improve your understanding of how your inner and outside worlds are interconnected, which will increase your relationship with your higher self. Frequently, synchronicities serve as a roadmap for us during times of transition or crisis, reassuring us that we are not alone and that the cosmos is behind us. They serve as a reminder that each of our paths is a thread in the greater fabric of existence, connected in ways we may not fully comprehend. Chapter 6. Silence retreats. The world's cacophony disappears amid the peace and quiet of silence, enabling us to pay closer attention to the faint hums that emanate from within. Retreats into silence offer more than simply a break from the non-stop noise of everyday life. They are a hallowed place where deep reflection and self-discovery can take place. Our typical distractions vanish in the embrace of quiet, leaving us with nothing but the core of who we are. This setting serves as a mirror, reflecting the realities that we frequently ignore or try to avoid in the rush of daily life. We find ourselves in a state of heightened awareness, more open to the insights and direction of our higher self, when thoughts calm down and the mind settles. A silent retreat can last anywhere from a few days to several weeks, and it's usually held in environments that encourage reflection and closeness to the natural world. When we refrain from using digital gadgets, speaking aloud, or even making eye contact, we become more introspective and uncover our true selves beneath the social masks we wear. This silence is not only the lack of sound, rather, it is a profound presence that asks us to have a meaningful conversation with our deepest selves. Here, in the silence, we can more clearly hear the whispers of our higher self, guidance, comfort, and insights that are all too readily overlooked in the din of our daily lives. Retreatants who participate in quiet practices meditate, stroll mindfully, write in a diary, or just relax in nature to promote self-awareness and spiritual restoration. This introspective period can shed light on our deepest goals, anxieties, and obstacles while providing direction and clarity. These retreats have advantages that go beyond the time spent in solitude. After leaving the quiet, many reporters report feeling more purposeful, more empathetic, and more appreciative of life's small pleasures. When one aligns behaviors with their true self and purpose, the insights gained during this period of contemplation frequently result in transformational transformations. Thomas Merton was a Trappist monk, writer, theologian, mystic, poet, social activist, and expert in comparative religion who deeply embraced the practice of silent retreats. Merton, who was born in France in 1915 and later immigrated to the U.S., rose to prominence as one of the most significant Catholic writers of the 20th century. His entry into the Abbey of Gethsemane in Kentucky, a community renowned for its dedication to the contemplative life and the practice of silence, marked the beginning of his journey into monastic life in 1941. Silence retreat experiences played a major role in Merton's spiritual development and served as a major theme in his writings. He describes his transforming experience into the monastic life in his autobiography, The Seven-Story Mountain, emphasizing the significant influence of silence on his inward development. Silence for Merton was not only a way to escape the outside world, but also a means of coming into contact with the holy. He wrote a great deal about it, praising the ability of quiet to connect us to God and show who we really are. Merton saw practicing silence as a means of achieving holiness on a personal level, as well as a means of fending off the distractions and cacophony of contemporary life. According to him, quiet is a place where we can listen intently to God's presence in our lives, which helps us understand ourselves and our place in the universe better. Merton frequently referred to his periods of intense introspection, prayer, and natural connection during his silent retreats as encounters with the divine. As you consider these approaches, keep in mind that the introspective process is incredibly intimate and never-ending. The voice of your higher self is constant. It's on us to pay attention. If you thought the video was entertaining, please consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you seeing.